to another exciting episode of Javier in the Air. This is season 4, episode 12. That's right, 12 so far. Been pretty good. I only missed a couple of times, so that's good. If this is your first time coming here, if you saw that right up in LinkedIn, which by the way, thanks company for that. I'll show you that in a little bit. Then welcome. I hope you enjoy the show. We talk about a lot of things here, and we try to do our best to bring a little bit of something crazy and unusual to my corner of the internet. So first up, we're going to do my Trashy in the Hood. So Trash in the Hood came about 36 weeks ago, for those of you who don't know. I was trying to find a way to make myself accountable to myself in walking around the neighborhood and getting my walk in, which I need to do, doctor's orders. So I was like, well, what can I do that would hold me accountable, but in different ways and not just like, hey, you need to do it for your health, because obviously that doesn't seem to work for me. So I came across the idea, and when I was walking the first week, saw a lot of trash out there on the streets. Now, this isn't trash like from the garbage guys, fumbling the garbage can and this and that, which, by the way, they don't even touch manually anymore. They have a device that comes out and grabs it, throws it into the trash can, lets it go, and then they go about their merry way. So it's not them fumbling trying to get the trash can into the truck itself and having things drop and then they don't pick it up. So it's not them at all. These are for the wonderful neighborhood friends, I should say, and then guests of our neighborhood who go through our streets. And so I pick up. So I saw that and I said, well, hey, this is a nice way to pick up the streets, make them look nice for my walk and for everybody else's walk. So I started doing it, and then I started getting creative, and I found a bag, an old grocery store bag that I was using, or that I wasn't using, and I started using that, and now it's specifically for picking up trash. It doesn't get used for anything else. And then I picked up a grabber on Amazon for like $12-13, and so I started doing that as well. So now it's become a thing where I go at least 3 times a week, hopefully sometimes 4, sometimes 5 if I'm really crazy, and then sometimes 2, or I have to skip a week like we did during the last freeze. But I try my best to get at least 3 walks in on top of the other exercise that I do. So if you are interested, and I actually had some people reach out to me this week on Nextdoor. I don't do a group. I don't do set times. I just, when the mood strikes me or I forgot to do it early in the morning, I go out and I walk. So there are some times like on Saturdays where some good friends of mine and I will walk to Mojo's, and then we'll hang out at Mojo's for a while, and then we walk back. It's a really nice walk, a little over 1.5 miles, and so it gets us out. Yesterday got us out in the nice cool breeze, and it wasn't too hot yet, even though we went later than normal. So it just, when the mood strikes me, I go, and then when it strikes me, hey, I'm going to go down this street, hey, I'm going to go down that street. So I am not a proponent for driving somewhere to walk. There's plenty of places to walk in my neighborhood. There's streets right in front of me. So why not pick up the trash in my neighborhood? And if you're out there and you're interested in doing it for your neighborhood, I totally suggest grabbing a bag and a grabber and a pair of gloves and pick up the trash. So in fact, I got out 3 times this week, including yesterday morning, a nice little coffee walk. So let me show you what I got. Dark Frog Social Media presents Trash in the Hood. Alright, Trash in the Hood. So some of the streets that I hit when I walked, this was day 1, by the way, Monday of this week, week 36. I hit Hickory, of course, sometimes Black Cherry, Red Bay, Loretta Wood, Hatch, El Salito Parkway, Texas Oakway, Mimosa Pass, 620, Cypress Creek, Dagoma Place, and so on. So this was a lot from different places. So this is day 2. You see some differences. Still a lot of cigarette butts, but this is must have been a lot of drinking the night before. Little bottles of alcohol, little um, soda cans, beer cans, and different bits of paper and all that sort of thing that I seem to find every day. There's a mask there as well, bits of string from weed whackers and stuff like that. So kind of all over the place. So it's kind of hard to touch base when they're spread out, so not everybody sees it. When I combine it like this, people are like, "Wow, there is a lot of trash on the streets." So this was day 6. Yesterday, this was part of our coffee walk. You see, the drinkers were out heavily last night. That night, in fact, you see a Bic lighter and a broken bottle that's being held together by the label up top, and so Monster and a bunch of other stuff as well. Looks like it was a tough Friday night for a lot of people. And then I found this when I was walking on the coffee walk. This was very interesting to me because this was the the stop sign for Loretta Wood and Hatch, and it looks like someone took um, a hacksaw to it, because if you look up real close in that circle in the bottom left there, that is not from a car pushing it over. That is somebody actually hacking into it and sawing on it. It's such a sad thing to see. So, to finish up what I was saying there at the end, so I don't know what was going on Friday night. That one, I found so many bottles of alcohol on that route, which, by the way, that particular route is Hickory to Black Cherry to Red Bay to Loretta Wood to Hatch, and then from Hatch I go all the way up. Um, no, I'm sorry, I go up just a bit to Meadow Lark, take Meadow Lark to Little Elm Trail. Little Elm Trail takes me up to that Bolero gas station, and right next to that is the Mojo Coffee. So it's an interesting route. I only do it once a week, so there's usually some good trash. You saw the trash there. But what I found interesting is that stop sign, which is real close to my sister's house, the stop sign at Loretta Wood and Hatch, looked like someone had taken a hacksaw to it. So I don't think it's construction crews or city crews, because they normally would cut it and replace it. But this was still a very well newish pole. There wasn't any rust on it. There wasn't any wear and tear on it. Nobody had hit it prior to this. And if you look at the picture again, you saw there's no dents as if a car had hit it. Besides, the part where it's cut is clean. It's a smooth cut, like somebody cut it with a hacksaw. So I'm not sure what's going on in these neighborhoods that late at night. It had to have been at night, because someone would have to be watching. Even though there's a very big traffic street light right on that corner, so they would be in light as they were cutting this. Somebody had to cut it. I mean, that's all there is to it. There's no way that kind of cut was made from a car inadvertently hitting it and it snapped off. There's just no way. A snap or a bend or anything like that from a car or anything else would cause a different type of cut. This was a very clean cut. Anyway, interesting. So hopefully the vandals will get caught. Hopefully they're not cutting any more down, because that's actually a stop sign. So if you're new to the neighborhood and you're driving and you don't see the stop sign, you may just think, okay, I can just turn straight onto Hatch, and Hatch has a stop. Hatch does not have a stop, so be careful out there. And I did see that the broken mailbox that was down Black Cherry actually got repaired also, so that's nice too. So if you see things like that in your neighborhood, one, you don't have to say anything, but it would be nice. And two, say it to the right authorities. There's no need to go knock on the neighbors, knock on people's doors and say, hey, who did this? That's not going to get you anywhere. It's not worth it. It's not nice, and it's not fair, because you don't know if it's them. How do they know? Maybe they've been gone the whole time that this happened, and you're all worked up, and you want to try to find out. Well, it's never going to happen. So it's best to leave it to the authorities and just report it like I did. So, okay. All right. So that was our trash in the hood. Now we're going to go to our bottom line and see what we have there. So here's this week's bottom line. Dark Frog Social Media presents Bottom Line. Work from home buddies. Hey everybody, welcome to Bottom Line. So, I've talked to a lot of people over the past year or so that I've been doing this hybrid working where I work 1 week from the office and 1 week from home. I still know a lot of people who are working from home solely, and I also know people working hybrid like myself, and I know people that are working back to the office 100%. I also do know people that are blue collar workers and or people that work in retail and or people that work at jobs where they've never been able to go from home. So I am fortunate enough, not jaded, but fortunate enough that I get to work from home. It's very nice. In the hybrid, so I'm not working from home continually. I did have jobs over the past 3 years prior to this job where I worked from home all the time. So it was a transition. It's been almost exactly a year now. It'll be 2 weeks to make it a full year that I've been in this position. It's been one of learning, and it's been a great job. And like I said, I get the opportunity to work as hybrid, which is work from home and work from the office. So this particular bottom line has to do with people that work from home, either continually or work hybrid style as I do. So some of the people that I've been talking to, and I've been talking to people across generations, so I'm not just talking about Gen X, but the other ones, millennials and Gen Z, and even boomers and stuff like that, and people that are still in the workforce. I do talk to people that aren't in the workforce, but for this particular section, it has to do with people that are still working. Excuse me a second. Always stay hydrated. You saw that healthy after 50. So, one of the things that I've been hearing is how difficult it is now for those who didn't work from home prior to COVID and now are continuing to work from home, and then those that are in a hybrid position, such as myself, and that is to make friends. So you find it difficult. You no longer have that um, water cooler downtime or lunch breaks or anything like that with people that you may consider to be a friend or that you may want to be a friend. You may not be on the same schedule. I, for example, have worked different various schedules across my work from home so that I had the opportunity to meet my entire team, but not everybody gets that opportunity. And if there's any managers out there or business owners, I recommend you do that. They don't have, if you don't want to necessarily keep them working from the office, I think a hybrid position, type for the first 90 days may be a way for them to meet the entire thing. So, what we're talking about here is basically work from home buddies. So, if you work from home and you don't have any way of going to an office, say you don't have an office, then how do you become friends and make connections with people in your office in quotes, so to speak? Well, the thing is, and here's the hard part for a lot of people, especially for a lot of people in the area that I work in, which is information technology, is you have to force yourself to make connections. It's very easy for you to log into your day, sit on your camera or not, and work your 8 hours, log out, turn around and go do your own thing. And if that's good for you and if that's what you like, then by all means, and you can get away with it, officially, then by all means do that. There aren't a lot of people that are very um, full introverts, so to speak. They like that interaction. So one of the things that you might have to then start doing is force yourself to, if there's not a policy, force yourself to start keeping your camera on. Try to get on a couple of minutes early. Try to stay on a couple of minutes later after the meeting if you can. Some meetings are like, everybody get out. Have collaboration meetings with your team. from time to time where the camera's on. So what we find is a lot of people, not that they're introverts, they're just lazy and don't want to put on their camera. Or they're like, why should I put on my camera? I'm at home. There's no reason for you to look into my home, even though nowadays you can blur the camera so it doesn't show anything about your home. So let's get over that one right away. Now, like I said, if you don't want to show, that's fine, and you can get away with it, that's fine. But for those of us who need to have the camera on from time to time, and you want to make that connection, and you're unable to make a physical connection in the office, then one of the great things you can do is actually just meet online. Talk to your HR team. Talk to if you have an events coordinator and an events team, talk to the events team about making a Zoom happy hour. There's now hundreds, if not thousands, of Zoom games that you can play with your team, either through Zoom or through little portals, that you can just sign up for free, or your marketing team or events team can sign up for, and so on. So, if you want to have a buddy, and I do recommend that you should always have someone on your team or at your company that you want to talk with. You don't have to talk with necessarily online. You can, talk to each other on the phone if that's acceptable. You can even do an off, after hours Zoom call with them, even if they're not in the same city or neighborhood or anything with you. Having a buddy at work that you can talk to about work just makes one feel better. So the bottom line here is that you should always try to find a buddy at work. And I'm saying, when I say buddy, I mean a work buddy. They don't have to necessarily come into your home. You don't have to necessarily spill your life secrets of when you were in third grade and you got, hit by a ruler from Sister Teresa and that sort of thing. You know who I'm talking about. And so you don't have to go that deep, but you need to have some sort of collaboration, some sort of communication with a team member or a department member or even just a co-worker, so that you get that work and feel of being connected to your company. I highly recommend it, and that's the bottom line. Thanks a lot. Okay, so I apologize for having to take a sip of water during the bottom line, but I didn't drink as much water as I should today, so I definitely need to catch up. Plus, I felt that frog in my throat coming back, so I thought I'd squash it down by drinking some water. So thank you for everyone who came forth with interesting ideas for the cough that I had. I have tried some of them. The hot tea with lemon tastes great, and a little bit of honey tastes even better. Doesn't do anything. You're cold, you need to put something warm on. I tried that. It kind of works, and then the cough comes back. So right now I'm pretty good. So maybe we've turned a corner. Who knows? I'm sure I'll cough now that I mentioned it. Also, yes, as a lot of people also see me drinking, and to be honest, it's water. It's not much else. When I do the spirit times, I will partake in whatever it is that I'm showing, but I am not much of a full-time drinker, especially when I'm home alone. And yes, you're welcome for that. I do like to drink. You've obviously seen that on the show. If you haven't, go check the archives of Javier In The Air. In the air, not on the air. And you'll see many archives of myself and drinking. And in fact, we'll have a spirit time here later on today. But I am not one for sitting around and killing a 24-pack or a suitcase of beer. I'm not one for sitting around and killing off a whole bottle of wine by myself, or a bottle of port by myself, or anything along those lines. So, even though I do have a lot of alcohol around the house, I am not known for drinking by myself. I don't like it. I've given up soda, so I can't even go back to that, which, by the way, Big Red, just on a lazy Sunday afternoon, that was my chill. Can't do that anymore because it's not good for me. So I haven't had a soda in about probably close to 4 years now. So And like any addiction, I still want it. I just don't drink it. So, not to belittle addiction, but addiction is for anything and everything you do. It's a vice. It becomes something that you get hooked on, and it's not good for you. So, anything past the point of like just on average is not good for you. So, just about anything. So, anyway, I digress. So, if again, welcome to those who haven't seen the show before. We're going to go ahead and get into our Zen moment. So let's take a look. I think we're going to do a short one because I am trying to, as always, I'm trying to stay under 30 minutes or 30 minutes or under. So let's see what I can do. So here's a short little Zen moment.
Through the fields of our paths, feelings part our ways, keeping us close but estranged now. Dreams holding us closer, meadows of our youth, 107 days, but recalling it backwards. Our dreams holding us closer. Ooh, we can see so clear. Ooh, we can see so clear.
Okay, so that was your Zen moment for the day. Music, by the way, was called So Clear, and it was royalty-free music brought to you by my editing software, which is Wondershare Filmora. And if you want any more information about that, you're thinking about doing your own blog or even podcast or just audio snippet, reach out to me. Send me a message either through my YouTube channel, Javier In The Air. My handle is Javier In The Air 01, all one word. Or you can reach out to me via Facebook if you have me on there, Instagram if you have me on there, or you find me on there, or anywhere else that you can reach me. So I'm always looking for a co-host to host episodes every now and then with me. Looking for any mom and pop businesses, either local or otherwise, that want to be on the show and get a little marketing for their stuff. I'd be more than happy if you're close enough for me to be able to get out there to your store establishment and film from there. So those of you who may have saw last weekend that we did the epoxy, I'm still waiting for it. I have 2 more weeks. Once again, wood turning, Midwest Wood Turners was the epoxy people, and Moon Tower Cider Company was the cidery. Go back to last week's episode, episode 11, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so we got the, we have only a few minutes left. We got the bottom line, we got the Zen moment, we had Trashy hood pickup. So we're doing well. What do we have left? We have left Healthy After 50 and Spirit Time. So let's go to Healthy After 50. Dark Frog Social Media presents Healthy After 50. Hey everybody. Welcome to Healthy After 50. So this section has to deal with mostly for people that are over 50 and how we can either get healthy, remain healthy, or strive to be somewhere in between, to be honest. So I did have some people reach out to me and talk to me a little bit about how they are. And by the way, if you are under 50, these tips and tricks come in handy as well, because sooner or later you're going to hit 50. So what may come easily for you now may not come easily for you later, especially if you forget that you need to do things to stay healthy. So back to what I was saying. So some people have come to me and asked me about I don't know where to start. So the problem is that they have been very unhealthy for parts of their lives, including the last part before they became 50. And now they are struggling with trying to find a regimen that they can keep to and that they will want to keep to as the years go by. So that's a tough one, really, overall, because everyone has their own um, needles that prod at you that keep you going. For me, work is always something that drives me. I'm not sure what I'm going to do when and if I ever get to retire because that's the needle that gets me going. I know I have something to do at work, so I stay at it and I get it done. So a lot of people are like me and have that same kind of drive, but then what do they do when it's really themselves? If you have a spouse or a significant other, that may come in handy, especially if both of you decide that you want to get healthy together. It's even easier if one of them's already healthy and you want to partake in their exercise regimen or their exercise club they may have, or make it fun. So always make it fun, and I think you'll stick with it more. But if you want to start out and you've done absolutely nothing, there's nothing wrong with starting over again. I recommend a walk. Walk around your block, all the way around the block, and back to where you start. See how you feel. I also recommend stretching. There's a lot of people I know, you know who you are, that refuse to stretch before they do anything because they never had to when they were younger. Well, maybe time you learn how to stretch. So, stretching your hamstrings, stretching your legs, stretching your arms before you do any kind of kinetic exercise is necessary. It's just like when they tell you get up every hour or so if you're sitting at your desk, if you're still working, and walk around, move, stretch a little, whatever you need to do like that. More so to make sure that you stay healthy. So what we need to do is continually do that. So walking's a great thing. Hand weights are another good thing. Working your wrists and your hands and your tendons and everything, especially if you do a little typing and you're in a set position for a long time, you don't want to get carpal tunnel syndrome. You don't want to have the aches and pains because you've been sitting at your desk for 6-7 hours and you haven't really gotten up. Get up, walk around. So start with walking, maybe a little hand weights. Maybe carry the hand weights with you when you go walking. Don't push yourself. Let me say that again. Don't push yourself. And by pushing yourself, I mean, hey, I've been on the couch and in my desk for a couple of years now, but I know I used to run a 5K, so I'm going to go run a 5K this Saturday. No, don't do it. I wouldn't even recommend walking a 5K. You may be in a lot lesser position than you think. Walk around your block. If you need to, time yourself for how long it takes you to get from your front door to your front door. Stay at it 2 to 3, 4 times a week. Do that for a couple weeks, and then start and time yourself, and then start trying to go either faster or farther. So you don't want to try to, I was a high school pentathlete and I can do this and that. If you have not been keeping up with exercising, it is not going to behoove you to try to just go out and do it all that same day. So get to walking. And I'm talking walking, I'm not talking running. If you're in pretty decent shape, that means you've been trying to keep yourself in pretty decent shape, which means you're not where I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you've done nothing for years and your doctor gets after you just like he got after me, then you all need to start somewhere, and you need to start small. By starting too large, you're going to hurt yourself. You'll probably hurt yourself mentally as well, saying, what am I doing? I can't do this. And you're going to go back to where you were, back to square one or -1, and it's not going to help you out. Get a walk in. Walk with your spouse, significant other. Walk with your dog. Walk with a neighbor. Do what I do. Pick up trash. You'll find that it's not as much of a chore as you think it is. It's actually interesting to find some of the things you might find. And in the past 36 weeks, I'm up like almost $3. Hey, what do you like? $3 free, tax-free money. So if you have an opportunity to do that, I recommend it. Walk at lunch, walk in the morning, wherever the temperature is best for you, and walk and walk and walk. After that, come back for some other tips and tricks, and I'll be here to help you out. Thanks a lot. Hey everybody, I apologize to you because I have reached the 30-minute mark, so we're actually going to go past a couple of minutes. Sorry about that. I'll do better next time. So the last section is spirit time, and if you read the title, you see what it's about. This is, and by the way, I'm going to do the spirit time and go right into the goodbye, and try not to go too long. So this is the unsung hero of your liquor cabinet. This is the bastard child that you wind up liking at the end of the night. This is the ghost that comes up when you're trying to see in your liquor cabinet, what do I have that I can add it's been a while that I've added it. Well, here you go. Midori. Some people call it a honeydew melon liqueur. It's definitely a melon liqueur. It's not a watermelon. But I don't think I've ever had this straight up. So you probably shouldn't. It's 20% ABV, but it's a liqueur, and if wow, definitely a melon liqueur. If you know, liqueurs are really meant to be drunk when using other alcohol. So this is what you call a secondary alcohol, your liqueurs. So what you normally do is you add your the way I used to do it is you add your liquor, you add your liqueur, then you add your ice if you're shaking it up. If you're doing it in the glass itself, you add the ice, then you add the liqueur, then you add the liquor, and stir it up with the swizzle stick and fruit. If you're definitely going to be mixing it up in the tin, you want to go with the alcohol, the liqueur, then the ice, then anything else, and then you shake it up that way. So here it is. Very interesting. Green, and I think they've done that since day one. So let's see what we get. It's definitely a honeydew melon liqueur. I also recommend not drinking it straight. It's a little too candy-ish. It kind of looks like green apple Jolly Ranchers, but it's not. It's not that flavor at all. It's not green apple at all. It is definitely a melon flavor, and you can see why there's not much of it gone, because it is a liqueur that gets added to other drinks, and more often than not lately I've just been drinking things straight up or neat. So it's good to have around the house. I recommend you getting the bottle. You won't go through it much, but it's really good and really adds to things like daiquiris and I've added it to Long Island iced teas. I've added it to Singapore slings. I've added it to Harvey Wallbangers. I've added it to Slow Gin Fizz. Slow comfortable screws up against the wall. You just add a bit of it to each one, and it really kicks it up a notch. So if you don't know what any of those drinks are, get a book. Figure it out. Try it for yourself. If you find a combination that you like using Midori, send it to me and I'll get it on the air. So that's it for our show. That's it for Spirit Times, and that's it for the show. I want to thank everybody for watching it who has made it this far. If you have any thoughts, comments, or questions or suggestions for my show, please drop me a line. If you'd like to be on the show, please drop me a line. I want to mention that the Be the Light Craft Fair will be out by my house again in May this time, right down the road, less than half a mile from me. I may or may not have a booth there, but I definitely will be out there to show all the participants and all the people that go and enjoy a craft fair such as that. So that's it this week. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see everybody again next week. Thanks a lot, everybody.